All right. So let's hope that you guys can hear me. I am flying blind here. I'm trying a whole new setup. You know how I like to roll. I like to try this shit while I'm live. Because, we don't mess around. So I'm running with the lighting. The reason I'm moving over here, hopefully you can hear me. I don't know how it's going to sound because I'm on a remote mic. I should probably do a sound check. But guys, this is the year of experimentation. Let's just see if we got anything going on here. Let me just test it and then I'll get on. I got some good shit for you tonight, I promise. I'm gonna lay some heat. If it's working. Hold on, I just need to check because you know how I roll at the end of the very, very last minute. You know how I like to roll. All right, there we go. We were good. All right, I saw myself. All right, listen, welcome to Nightcap. My name's Nate, you know the deal. I got a little different setup here. I'm trying to, I just wanted to see what it looked like. Try a little look and feel. Let me remove the timer. See, I don't even have my remote shit set up yet. So let me just remove this timer. And then you can see my fat, ugly head. All right, listen. I do not have headphones on tonight. I'm trying this because I need to get used to talking without those headsets. They're like a crutch. So I figured I'd mic it up with my new mic. It's a mobile mic. I don't know how the sound is, but it sounded decent, but it's not filtered or anything like that. All excuses aside, listen, welcome. Tonight I'm gonna talk about something that's pretty obvious to most of us, but as I go through my daily Twitter. If you don't know how I keep myself informed is I go to Reddit, I go to Twitter, I go to BBC, I go to Reuters, I go to Al Jazeera, I go to New York Times, I go to Washington Post to try to get as many sources as I can when I'm trying to figure out a story or trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. And I spend a lot of time on Twitter though because it's kind of like a shortcut. You get the shit right from the writers, and a lot of journalists hang out there, and they hang out in spaces, and there's all kinds of different tools there to spread or disseminate information. And so you can kind of join tribes on Twitter and everything else. So I feel like I have a good sense of what's happening in different facets of the world. Not fully informed, but the reason why this is important today is because I get so fucking annoyed at the constant back and forth about this system. And let me just get specific. By the way, my 3 points are going to be basically this. I'm going to tell you what I did today a little bit, which I just got done. I'm going to then talk to you a little bit about what the fuck is wrong with our representatives, both sides of the aisle in Congress, and why it's fucked up. And then I want to kind of really just lay the final point, which is our system's jacked and we have these assholes running it, and that's why we're not going to fix anything. So, kind of all over the place with those points, but let me just tell you. Today I spent a lot of time kind of going through this whole new setup, trying to figure out, if I'm going to be more newsy, if I'm going to be more daily update, all this shit. And I'm still trying to figure this out. Not rudderless, but we're playing around with what content, model works for me. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that there's really not people calling these folks out consistently in any media platform. Trevor Noah does it from the comedic side. You've got no one really on the left, on the right, or anyone else that really, puts it to these guys besides Mehdi Hassine, which he's on MSNBC. I'm talking about like lighting these guys up, and they should, not this non-adversarial relationship that these folks have with the press is bullshit. It should be adversarial. They should be fearful of the press. They should be required to talk to them, and not fearful for their lives, but they should be willing to put up with the tough questions, which we don't do for our politicians in this country. So, it kind of just falls on this direction of where I want to go and how I want to fucking light people up with this platform. And so, today I kind of spent some time rearranging things, looking at other feeds, looking at other players in the game, and just seeing what works. I have this vision for this to be a micro platform kind of distribution model for politics. That's what we're trying to do. So just to get the rudderless fucking word out of my mouth, I shouldn't have never said that word because now I'm going to say it forever. But all this is important because I told you I'm going to be trying different stuff. I'm going to be trying different looks, trying different, actions. Behind me, I have my blackboard covered with green sheet because I think that I would like to do things like the weather and shit like that. So anyway, I'm just rolling in tonight. New mic, new scene. We're going for it. Fuck it, we're doing it live, right? Right, Bill? Right, Bill? So anyway, so my second point is, as I'm perusing Twitter and I'm learning about the fucking idiots that are in charge, both sides of the aisle, fucking weak-ass motherfuckers on both sides of the aisle. It's pathetic. The reason I say that is because you see these people, right now, Republicans have what I would call the minority advantage. And that is, they don't have to do shit. They just have to say how bad the other side's doing and just bitch and moan and complain and hopefully get the spirit of the country doing the same thing. And next thing you know, the poll drops for the guy that's in office and they're looking good. And that's what the fuck they're doing. I'm not saying they don't have any legitimate causes to bash Joe Biden. Joe Biden's not perfect. This is something that liberals, or at least intelligent people, will acknowledge about whoever their side is pushing for the candidacy or even who lands in the presidency. They're all fucking imperfect, right? So it's okay to criticize your own guy. You don't have to be scared to criticize your own fucking guy. If that's what you want to call it, it's not really my guy. It's the guy that won the presidency, and my guy is whoever's in the fucking office. When Trump was president, he was my president. Fucking was a bizarre reality that I was living in that whole time, but he was my fucking president. And so Joe Biden's the president. You're probably thinking, what the fuck, what's your point? Well, when you go on Twitter and you see these folks and how much they tweet and what they tweet about, you start to wonder, like, what the fuck are they doing there? What is their purpose? And of course, it's very easy and clear to see that the Republicans just want to say no to things. And so they're on Twitter bashing the system. They're bashing how bad Biden's doing, and they're bashing and saying how his foreign policy is wrong and everything is wrong. There's nothing good that he's doing right now. In fact, they go so far as to say or suggest that these folks aren't American. We need to get back to old values and bullshit and fucking make America great again. And, whenever Democrats aren't, that kind of rhetoric coming from our leaders is pathetic. It means they don't have an argument to sell whatever they're trying to sell. Or they're deflecting because they have folks in their pockets playing with their nuts, with their fucking money. This is where I get mad. Because if the same thing will happen if the Democrats lose. They're not as good of a minority party. They certainly don't know how to block shit like Mitch McConnell when you're in the minority. Mitch McConnell essentially has shown that he's one of the, premier Senate majority leaders in this era. I mean, he's gotten a lot of his shit done. He's passed more judges through than probably any Speaker of the House on his side. He's probably confirmed more conservative judges. He's also thwarted tons of legislation, left legislation to die in committee, not even get to his desk to come to the floor. He did that for many years. Now he's in the minority, and he's still essentially acting as if he has a majority. And of course, Democrats are kind of allowing that to happen for whatever reason. They're not taking over the rules and changing them to their benefit. And by the way, none of that's unconstitutional. The rules of how the House and the Senate works are not outlined in the Constitution. They're outlined specifically to be designed by by the House, and so and the Senate. The Senate wasn't always like that, by the way. We'll do a whole day on the Senate and how that's changed since our founding fathers. But it's important for folks to understand that this back and forth that's happening between the parties, again, the pendulum's going to swing. I'm going to be fired up again, especially if we elect Donald Trump and his fucking nuts are swinging in my face for 4 years again. And I got my fucking friends, let's just put that in fucking quotes. My friends tell me that I don't know what racism is for another 4 fucking years. I'm going to lose my goddamn mind. But let's just hope that doesn't happen. But what's even more apparent to me is that what the fuck kind of system do we have that is so fragile that depending on who's in charge, it falls apart? Doesn't that fucking like land on anybody? The system's so bad that if you have a bad president, shit could go fucking south real quick. And I'm not sure we want that. I'm not sure we designed this system. I don't think anyone would design a system with, hey, let's have acceptable points of failure, and let's have it, we want to be the greatest country to rule the world. Let's make it so that every 4 years it's completely upside down whether or not the U.S. economy or U.S. falters. This is a real thing, I'm telling you, because if you go by the Twitter feeds of the Republicans, right now the world is collapsing. We've got a border crisis. We've got, Democrats playing footsie with the fucking mask, and that's annoying them. You've got, Nancy Pelosi's doing some shit. Oh yeah, that's right. It's her fault that there wasn't enough security during Trump's insurrection. You've got all this stuff that's pointing fingers at Democrats, okay? And then, of course, you have the same thing happening from Democrats, except, again, they're not as monolithic and they don't goose step like Republicans do. Oops, I mean lockstep, walk lockstep. But they do have a message, and again, that's probably Democrats' problem is they don't have a cohesive message strategy other than fucking Stacey Abrams should fucking rule the whole entire party. That should be our strategy. Put her in charge. Put women in charge. Put Elizabeth Warren in charge of the fucking presidency. Get this fucking old guy out of there. I'm sorry, but he's way better than Trump, so you can bash him and everyone's going to get mad. My liberal friends are going to be like, oh, he's doing this stuff. Look, I can't watch the fucking guy. I'm waiting for him to die. Come on. It's fucking weird having a guy that old and kind of not agile in the presidency. It's bullshit. I thought it was shitty when they fucking elected him. And of course, again, I have to say this disclaimer. Placenta is better than Trump, for Christ's sake. Okay? So, but my larger point of this rant is that if the system's so bad that we have Democrats rightly or wrongly insisting Republicans are tearing down the country and Republicans are doing the same thing about Democrats, what kind of fucking system does that not dawn anybody? Again, my engineering side comes out and I'm thinking, okay, this system's fucking not stable. It's unstable. This is not sustainable. Sure, it's made work while we have enough power and powder in the gun, whatever the fuck the cliche is. If we have enough ammunition to do these things, of course, and I say that metaphorically, but truthfully, that's essentially why we're a superpower, is because of our bombs and weapons and our fear that we strike in people, and our economic, of course, having the fiat currency is important, but the truth is, we're losing that prestige. I mean, China's essentially killing millions and genociding in real time right now, and we just said, fuck it, we can't do shit. Let's send people over there to support the Olympics that they're running. We didn't give a fuck. That's not old USA. We can't really do anything about China. Russia's playing footsie with us with Ukraine, and we're kind of like hoping he doesn't. They're not fucking scared. They're fucking they're going after a potential NATO ally. Is Ukraine in the NATO? I should have fucking researched that. Who knows? Whatever. The point's made, okay? They're an ally, and they're kind of this stopping place before Russia marches their weird-ass autocracy across Europe, which they've essentially been trying to do for the last several years. They've been playing footsie with our fucking minds using social media. So we've got these crazy things happening, right? And apparently the world will crumble depending on whether your guy's in the office or not. And to me, that's fucking horrible, a horrible system. We want to really elevate our founders as if they wrote this perfect document, when even the Bible has been fucking rewritten. And I say even the Bible because to many believers in Christianity, the Bible is, the infallible word of God. Yet it's been rewritten and retranslated, and who knows how the translations work. I'm not going to get into arguing whether or not the Bible is legitimate representation, but my point is, the Bible has been reinterpreted many times, and it was the word of God, yet people find it unfathomable that the Constitution should be amended, yet maybe even rethought of or restructured. Or maybe there's fucking amendments shouldn't be amendments after all. They should have been in the fucking original document. That kind of that kind of thing. There's all kinds of, there's two different schools of thought of how this works. But this is what's important. We have a pendulum that happens consistently. Democrats, I'm sorry, you're probably going to lose the House. Republicans, you can celebrate. I don't know what you're going to celebrate, because what does it mean when Republicans get in office? They spend like drunken sailors, they fuck shit up, and then the Democrats have to come and play cleanup. That's just the way it works. That's what the data shows us. Okay? Even the golden years of Ronald Reagan weren't really the golden years for a lot of people. It was the golden years of the corporate takeover of America, but that's about it. Stop playing yourself. And if you're a Democrat and you thinking the Democrats are fucking innocent, stop playing yourself. You have to start asking a question about what the fuck is wrong with the system that allows these idiots to take over and totally shit on everything. And then these idiots come along and shit on everything. And depending on how they shit, it really all falls downhill on everyone else. But either way, it's depending on who the rich has decided to buy. And so this system is so flawed. And I'm reading Twitter. Trust me, I'm gonna bring it back around. I'm reading through Twitter. I'm seeing this kind of back and forth, and I'm thinking, okay, does anyone want to step outside and go, okay, look, I know these people have good intentions. I know these people have good intentions. But no, that doesn't work. It doesn't get people fired up. I get it. But it would be nice to hear them say, you know what, I know they have good intentions. I don't agree with their process. I don't agree with how they're doing it. But they're fucking Americans, first of all. And secondly, you know what? We don't have all the answers either. This is why America's great, because we figure out things, we work together, and we solve problems. That is not how America's operating right now. It's operating because we have a system that has allowed an economic system that really depends on how the knobs are twisting and who's twisting what. It has nothing to do with our output. It has nothing to do with how optimal our society is or how much technology we have. Where is all the optimization that came from all these computers? We didn't have them before. It should have made a lot less people work. It should have made us more productive. It has, right? It sure has. But where is that productivity and that value, that return on investment gone? It hasn't gone to us. It hasn't gone to the middle class. There's no free fucking college. There's no nothing. All the optimizations that happen. Think about this. Think about a system that we basically come out with. The Industrial Revolution comes out and we still have poverty. We have the Information Revolution come out where we change things and make it so that people can work from home. We still have poverty. So technology is not going to solve poverty. It does not do anything. We have a system that is so fucking fragile that the people on Twitter, the people that run this country, get on Twitter and then play us against each other. They don't do anything. They just play us against each other, saying, "Hey, look at the Democrats. They're trying to fucking mask your child. They're trying to mask your child." Like that's a fucking crime. What is wrong with you people with a mask over your fucking kid, thinking and comparing it to the Holocaust? Now let's do the Democrats. Republicans have legitimate concerns with the information flow out of the CDC. Why don't you address that? Of course, there's an argument to be made that they self-sabotaged every fucking institution with Trump. That was their goal. Put DeSantis in charge of the post office. Maybe we can take that down too. My larger point is, as I'm going through, it dawns on me that this system's fucked up and we're just playing muddy in it. We're just playing in it. So when somebody says they're going to, drain the swamp, they're just going in the swamp. There's no drain. They're just going in the swamp. We need somebody to fucking go in, suck that shit out, get it out, clean it out, sterilize that shit, not jump in it with everyone else. And nobody's talking about that. They're just saying, hey, yeah, it's DC. And of course, when they're on the campaign trail, they're going to make all these references to them being as if they're kind of distanced from any kind of thing that happens in Washington. They'll say, those DC folks. When I'm on the campaign trail in Iowa, I'll talk about the DC elites and shit like that fucking gets you boners, but doesn't get you fucking any kind of better quality of life. It doesn't help us when they're sitting there going back and forth. I know that's what I'm doing here. I know I'm spicing it up for you, but the bottom line is go like the discourse. Look, political discourse has always been tough, right? I mean, Trump opened it up to another level. Now we're never going to put that back in the box. Twitter is a fucking shitstorm. You go on Twitter and say the sun's going to rise tomorrow, you're going to have a whole army of people that are going to argue that it probably won't and call you a fucking idiot. Okay, that's where we're at. And Twitter is where the journalists hang out. Twitter is where a lot of folks that disseminate information hang out. And so that's why it's like a cheat code for what's going to happen or stories that are coming down the pike, because these people are collaborating and researching and talking on Twitter. And I'm not blowing it up. This is really, it's an amazing time to be alive, but you have to understand that our platforms that we have are exacerbating those divides because we have morons that get elected that just wallow in the shit, don't have the wherewithal to actually pull back and say, and look at it from a 30,000 foot view and say, wow, our system's fucked up. God forbid you say that, you're a fucking socialist all of a sudden. I mean, the fuck? It's so fucking lame. And I've got, I'm halfway dead. And I wish I was a little fucking spry 18-year-old that had this mind, because I'm telling you right now, like, I'd be fucking going crazy thinking that, hey, this is the world you fuckers left me with? This quagmire shit? These folks don't remember what it was like before phones. They don't even know what a rotary phone is, this next generation. So they're seeing all this being recorded, and it's okay. We're normalizing all this fucking crazy behavior. We're normalizing. You go on Twitter right now and you can see, and I wish I had my little tweet thing up. It's going to get fancy, I promise. But you can go on Twitter and you can see Kevin McCarthy acting as if he is Jesus' brother, and he was sent down by Jesus and God to fucking fix things, and everything he does is perfect, and you wouldn't know it, but the Democrats, they're evil, and they're doing everything against. And this kind of bullshit is it's so easy to get you riled up and say, oh, the Bengals suck, or the fucking, that's what it is. I guess y'all are fucking so tribal that, you get all fucking rammed up about watching somebody else play video games, watching somebody else play sports. What the fuck? Why not just watch somebody else fuck up your life too? I guess it's fucking easy, right? Because that's your guy. That's my guy. My guy won, and he's doing shit for me, but you know what? That's my guy. Look at him. He's shitting all over the libtards. That's your fucking play. It's so lame and so just, again, I don't have any children, so I don't have to worry about shitting on this earth for my future generation. But I actually give a fuck about the quality of life for people I don't fucking know, because I'm a weirdo. And I think that it's just a shame that we have all these bouffon fucking idiots. What did I say today? Cunt packages in office. Again, this is 18 and over, so get over it. But that will continue to just work the divide. And we know it's happening. And we've also allowed rich people to decide what the agenda is going to be. And we've just decided it's okay. So I read Twitter today, and I'm trying to think of what I'm talking about. I'm just furious about the fact that, like, no one's, I'm just getting caught in the, what's this guy tweeting? What's this story? And I'm following stories, and I'm like, this is all chaotic because we have a fucked up system. And every time you try to fix the system, people rail against, you're a communist, you're a socialist, there's no systemic racism, and gaslight the shit out of you with crazy ideas like that, when all I'm trying to suggest is, look, we can call it capitalism, super capitalism. Okay, we can call it super capitalism, and you can have all your capitalist things, right? Except we're going to minimize the amount of extraction you can do on people from a lower class. And that includes how you extract labor from people of the cloak. I mean, these are just, look, you're still going to get your communism, but we're going to fix it. So, I want to see more of that kind of talk. And people get so scared and weird when you say socialism or social democracy or whatever the fuck social does for people. It's like the redheaded, the redheaded stepdad that's beating your ass or some shit. I don't know why I said redheaded. I wanted to say redheaded stepchild, but I said stepdad. The point is, like, we're continually punching ourselves in the face by allowing these buffoons to just normalize idiocracy. And, this is obvious to a lot of people, but it really becomes apparent when you start seeing the kind of vitriol that's going back and forth between our legislators. And then you're like, are you even capable of pulling back? It's like, two toddlers in a pool playing in the pool and just splashing the pool and getting pissed off because there's no water in it. And then the next guy gets in, there's never putting any water and just, there's no water. Well, get in the pool and splash around and act like a fucking idiot. That's what it feels like they're doing. They're literally just getting into Congress and, yay, splashing around like a fool and, walking around and getting breakfasts and riding around in planes with Trump and shit. And they're fucking doing nothing. Our representative has done very little to change the poverty or inequality in Lancaster County. Zero. I want to know who is giving a fuck. Besides the nonprofits that are struggling because they can't get grant money because all the big companies suck up the grant money, all the other fucking problems we have, relying on philanthropy to fix our problems. God. Like, if I was going to design a system that was going to, have to deal with the socio and economic issues that people face, there certainly wouldn't be like, hey, let's make it easy for, like, let's make it so that the problems are such that they create new industries that can solve those problems, but never really truly solve them because they're insurmountable and not possible to be, solved by a couple different businesses. It has to be a collaborative thing. Maybe some big organization like a government has to really step in. I say it with this tone because it's so fucking stupid when people argue against these basic things that every single first world country has realized that we need, including healthcare, including infrastructure, including education, all this stuff. But we're arguing about fucking Democrats being evil and Republicans being evil, and no one's kind of, not nobody, but just to me, that it's just as this is happening, I'm thinking like, we're fucked. We don't have the right people in office right now in positions of power to get their heads out of their ass and actually sell to the American people and get a coalition in Congress. I don't care if it's Democrat or Republican. I really don't give a fuck. I don't. I know Republicans are batshit crazy, but when it comes to voting in Congress, get them on board. We need those crazy motherfuckers. Get them to fucking vote with it. Sell that shit. Go back to their district and ask them why they don't want, if the guy's against universal health care or Medicare for all, ask them why. Go back to his district. Send a fucking army of people to his district fucking painting that motherfucker like a complete idiot that he is. And I know it's easier said than done. And most of the reason why none of this will happen is because the people that are benefiting from all this are the people that are pulling the strings of government. I'm not talking about Illuminati and all the fucking crazy other shit. I'm talking about real donors going, hey, look, I gave you $2,500. I gave you a $10,000 through my dark money super PAC, and now I want to be ambassador of fucking Zimbabwe or some shit. Whatever. And they get it. What's your training? Nothing. I started a pillow company, but I want to be the fucking ambassador to Zimbabwe. Do you know anything about diplomacy? No, it doesn't fucking matter. Do you hear me? I just gave $10,000 to this campaign. And boom, now we have an ambassador from fucking Zimbabwe because this is how it works. And they're not going to fix it internally. And so you read their tweets, you read the things they're doing back and forth, and you're like, this is just like toddlers. Toddlers, complete idiots. I will say it to their face. No fucking respect whatsoever. You are a fucking idiot if you're in Congress right now and you're not pushing for these first world solutions to our problems. I'm sorry. Democrat, Republican. Oh, we need to talk about budget. Fuck off. Fuck off. When you're talking about the U.S. healthcare system, what are you going to do? Are you going to figure out a way, like if this is the cost of the U.S. healthcare system, you think now all of a sudden basically spreading that risk over everybody is going to increase that fucking cost? Like, where is the science? Where is the education? This is why education needs to be funded. But my point is, like, it needs to be brought to the floor like that. It needs to be these ideas that really address our structural problems that we have in America, and not the Mike Pence fly on his head fucking denial of systemic racism kind of bullshit. I'm talking about real thinkers that can look and say, yeah, this is a phone. I agree it's a phone. You all agree it's a phone? Okay, cool. We can use it to call numbers, right? I mean, this is the alternative. This is a cat, right? Do we have to feed it? That's what I'm dealing with half the people. Like, we got to get on the same fucking page that this is a phone before we can use it. It's not a cat. And that, you know, that's kind of a stretch, but it's I'm using hyperbole or exaggeration to just kind of show that there's no cohesive, there's no collaboration between the parties, and one party's literally kind of misidentifying the problem and has no idea what the solution is, because if they think it's a cat and they're going to go buck wild looking for cat food, what the fuck is cat food going to do this? They're lost right now. That's why I say Republicans are fucking gone. They're talking about going to get cat food so I can use this phone. I can't be in the room with these people, but I need to dumb shame them until they realize, yeah, okay, you know what? I just said that. Wink, wink. I said that because on the camera. Okay, fine. Come out clean and out. Let's get some shit done for your constituents. We all agree this is a phone. Now we can dial it. Look, that one came out of my ass on the fly, so don't hate it. But my point is, stay off Twitter if you want to fucking see how the sausage is made and really get frustrated at the access journalism that allows reporters to get the scoop that the people in power will allow them to get. You know, it's such horseshit. It's not real scoops. It's like, hey, we'll give you a little bit of information for this. It's horse trading. I want natural born killers in there. And I'm not talking about killing people. I'm talking about like fucking attacking their positions or their things that they said, and not letting them off the hook until you get them to either apologize or admit their mistake. Instead, we get like, you know, Kevin, I don't like Jim Jordan. He's like the little tiny chihuahua that the fucking Republicans love marching out. Of course, he triggers every single liberal person. I don't know why he doesn't trigger anybody, but I get triggered when I see Jim Jordan because he's like this fucking big, and he's got a mouth that's this big, and I believe that he's also complicit in allowing children to get raped while he was a coach in Ohio. And that's kind of brushed under the rug, and so he's doing this bulldog thing to kind of make sure that people just know him as the bulldog and not the fucking guy that had people molested underneath his purview. Yeah, that's the kind of fucking people we have. That's the kind of people Republicans have. I'm not saying Democrats are perfect, but you guys elected fucking Donald Trump. Come on. This is not a fucking cat. Donald Trump isn't fucking qualified to run a fucking diner. Anyway, all right. So, look, I spent time on Twitter today. I saw how fucking idiotic we are. It pisses me off that nobody's stepping back and saying, yeah, let's fix the system. I don't care. And it doesn't have to, again, stop saying socialism. Stop. Democrats, don't say that anymore. Republicans, just do your thing, whatever. Just pretend it's like a war and we need to, like, we're having war with infrastructure or some shit. I don't know. But we need to figure out how to talk the language of these two parties. And they're not getting it. They don't know how to talk to each other. Their Twitter feeds show they don't even fucking see the problems. They're busy, you know, scoring points or looking for sound bites. And then our press is complicit. They're just happy to get the soundbite. And look, I'm talking to Jim Jordan. And look, I'm fucking interviewing Kevin McCarthy. Look, I'm sitting next to Nancy Pelosi. Fuck you. Fuck off. Go get a job doing paparazzi if you want to lick the heels of people you're taking pictures of and interviewing. Go do that. But get the fuck out of DC. And that goes like for all the major players right here. CNN, Washington Post, anybody. Like if you think you're doing this country a service, and you think you're part of the press that we're talking about protecting, this freedom of press, and you think because you have access and you're doing PR for these people that you're the press that we're trying to protect, fuck no. Fuck no. I'm not going down the Donald Trump fake news pike, but I'm going to say that you are reporting news that is not really relevant. It's used to get your clickbaits. And so we have all these fucked up problems. And we just have people go on Twitter. And it triggered me, as you can see. Last but not least, I want to talk about, I already kind of covered my last point, which is just really about the fact that this effect of having this conversation the way we do with our legislators being complete buffoons and just nitpicking and saying everything's the problem of the other party, it will slowly erode everything we have, especially when you have a party that's motivated to make it very difficult to vote. So now we have a problem of getting back the system that we have because they made it difficult for people that have the power to vote. So there's just thing after thing. And if you're looking at this, holistically, and you're kind of seeing the writing on the wall, and you know how I feel about I Told You So Mountain. I love standing on I Told You So Mountain, but I also hate it. And I don't want to be on I Told You So Mountain for this one, but I think that you're gonna continue to see buffoons elected in both parties. You're gonna see the Democrats do some crazy shit soon too. Hopefully not as crazy as electing Donald Trump, but there's also a little bit more appreciation for education on the left. There's also appreciation for like science and things that make sense. So there's less likely to have a crazy person come from the left. But we're going to continue to see democracy erode when we have a party that's hell-bent on making it difficult for people to get their voice heard so that we can change all this stuff. And so it's kind of, I went from being exasperated to seeing the folks talk back and forth to completely just like, what the fuck? How is this fixed? How do we fix this? Slow grind to shit. And no one's talking about China. No one's talking about the fact that Russia's doing what we're talking about it, but they're marching in. They're doing it. We're not the fucking world's police anymore. We're not the superpower we used to be, or we thought ourselves, or we lied to ourselves and told ourselves we were. We have the biggest military. China's going to fail. China probably won't fail. Every connection that I have that's in intelligence suggests that your fucking kids need to learn Mandarin or Cantonese. That's for real. I don't know what the fuck story you're reading and Joe Biden's got investment in China or whatever the fuck you want to crawl down or weird hole. That country's blowing up. Go over and check out their infrastructure. Everybody that comes back says, what the fuck are we doing? They have like buildings that are built in a circle, like a fucking circle on a toothpick. They've got like engineering marvels all across their fucking country that dwarf the Hoover Dam, or which is probably one of the last big public projects we did. Is it? I don't know. What the fuck? What's a big public project we do? We didn't build a bridge anywhere. We don't build new roads or anything. We fucking repair the shit we have. Maybe there's a new highway or bypass that goes up. We're not building shit here. They're building shit over there. And so while we're complaining, we have our legislators just pointing the finger, we're going to suffer, and your kids are going to be speaking Chinese. Not my pugs, although they are from China. They were bred to sit on the emperor's lap, I think. So look, I'm going to wrap today. I probably went longer than I wanted to. The first thing I want to talk about, I talked about my kind of my process today. I spent a lot of time on Twitter. I just wanted to tell you what I was frustrated about with this whole bullshit going on. And then I just kind of wrapped with my synopsis or analysis. Now, I was supposed to have an interview today. I did not reach out to this young lady. I will tomorrow. And she's primed and ready to go. She had one criteria for me, which is not to drink before I interview her. So I just didn't get around to it today. I didn't drink, but I didn't have an opportunity to just get around to preparing for the interview because I wanted to be smart. And so I'm going to try to get that in tomorrow. Hopefully you guys will stick around tomorrow and check that out because it's going to be about the struggle and maybe the eventually successful journey that trans person that we know and my wife's very fond of and we want to talk about some of her issues that she's running into. And so I'm going to try to get that off this week. I'm going to try to get off that tomorrow. I just don't want to embarrass this person, so I want to kind of seem good enough. And so I'm a little nervous. My wife kind of put it up to me like, you're going to prepare questions. Of course I'm going to prepare questions, but I just wanted to make it so that it was something that I can be proud of and she can be proud of. And I want her story to come clear and be her story. And obviously I want to touch on the points that I talked about, which is the healthcare issues that she's facing because of her transition. So don't worry, I didn't forget about that. I still owe you guys a video with Dave Castorello. Still working on that beast. I didn't have sound on it, so I had to find the sound and do all kinds of crazy shit. But things are in progress, and I appreciate you guys sticking with me. I had 2 more subscribers today, which is fucking awesome. I know you guys, I've been a little bit delayed on that, but I love the subscribers. That's how you can support me. I really appreciate the folks that are posting on social media with the shirts and the hats and the cups. I love it. It's fantastic. It really does help, and I'm in it to win it, motherfuckers. So I'm going to keep pushing. This is kind of a new layout I wanted to experiment with. It kind of looks small a little bit, but what I like about this is I can kind of have my tweets over here or whatever as I'm talking, and so this backdrop, it gives me a lot more room. I'm also using the 50mm 1.8 Nikon lens, which not sure if the focus is quite right yet, but I didn't have anybody to stand in. So as I told you, look, I'm trying all kinds of new stuff, and I love it. I'm excited about it because I finally feel like I'm at the point now where all the things that were in my head and all the things that I played around with scenes can start to come alive. And so you'll see that. Anyway, tomorrow I'll be back on at 10:30. Thanks for listening. Look, this is my go-to. This is my career. This is how I'm going to make a difference. So if you believe in me, or if you believe in the concept of making a better place, go fucking buy a shirt, go subscribe to the blog, go buy me a case of beer, whatever you want to do to support this. But let's get this thing growing, and let's get some voices out there that actually come from the people and aren't groomed or necessarily kind of coerced by corporate America. And I'm not coerced at this point. Look, I will sell out for Adidas. If Adidas gives me a sponsorship, it's going to be tough to fucking get me not to fucking take it because I love Adidas. So just saying, Adidas, if you're out there, I am for sale. All right, listen, that's all I got tonight, guys. Thank you, and gals, and everybody, and all the theys. Thank you. I'm going to learn the terms tomorrow before I get on so I won't offend anybody. But I just wanted to say thanks for everybody's support. Check your fucking rep. Give them a call. What the fuck are they doing? What committees are they on? What problems are they solving? How are they working for you? Find these things out, because the press ain't doing a good job of it. That's all I got. Peace.